It was our best month in 6 years. But, you know, my chest, I was getting all kinds of pain in my chest from stress. Hey guys, so I'm walking the dog right now. It's the weekend, time to reflect. I'm back home and it gives me perfect time to sort of catch up editing these YouTube videos. Hope you've been enjoying them so far. And reflecting on the last week, it's been great. We had the shoot with Michael, creating YouTube content for his business. And then of course the interview with him himself, which I really enjoyed. I love every part about golf, you know, playing golf, speaking with golfers, working with golfers. Yeah, it's really amazing. Just want it to incorporate my whole life and lifestyle. Feeling super blessed. Other wins we had was that client I spoke of recently. We did some editing for them. He really liked the first couple of videos that we provided and has already suggested about working together more on a like stronger partnership basis, delivering regular content each month. So just need to get a contract signed really, but fingers crossed. But that's super exciting. Seems like a great guy as well. That's always a bonus. One thing I've realized is we haven't actually worked with any women yet in the golf space. And that's something that, you know, with my values, I want to work with everyone, you know, well, not everyone. We're still kind of selective with who we take on, but we'd like to work with women, men, various ethnicities as well. A chance to do our bit to grow the game, and we want to represent, you know, all parts of the world, as well as, you know, golf has this kind of reputation that it's like an old man, rich person sport. I think that's gradually, that stereotype is fading, which is fantastic. But ultimately we're trying to grow accessibility to the game as well, something I'm super passionate about. You know, we didn't have you know, loads of money growing up by any means. Quite often I'd have to sneak onto the golf course and just play a few holes because golf is expensive. So anyway, I'm waffling now. Let's get back to the reflections on the week. I did have this day though last week where I was just knocked out for the first time in years, mentally, physically. I just honestly laid in bed the whole day. Tried to sit at my desk to do work and I couldn't focus. Not, you know, we all have dips in kind of, you know, we can all procrastinate, but this was like, no, I really can't do any work. So I think perhaps I have been a bit burnt out and I just couldn't do anything. So, and then my mindset, I was getting frustrated with myself and not working, not being productive. And then, you know, your thoughts dwindle and you're like, you know, would an entrepreneur really take a day off and lay in bed? So I was feeling it a bit. But then the next day I woke up and I was like double amped up, had loads of energy and got twice the amount of work I normally get done. And it made me think, you know, why was I down yesterday when in reality, you know, sometimes we just need a rest to get going again. And you're going to have days where you're more productive, days where you're less so. That's really a reminder to me, like not to get bogged down in this mindset of, oh, I'm a failure, because, you know, I've had one day where I'm not quite up to my full potential. And yeah, just remembering that we all need to take a break every now and then. Something I did last week as well was interview a couple of remote editors. We have agreed to take one on, not full time, just for a particular project at the moment, because I'm getting to the point now where if I try to edit everything myself, I would be editing every single second of every day, which is not helpful to anyone. But I want to keep those standards up and keep providing that content for our clients. And so, yes, that we had promising talks with a couple of editors, but we decided to take one on board. He's got good experience, and yeah, so he's signed up now for that project, and we're going to start working with him next week. So fingers crossed that goes well. And it's really down to me to, as the owner, to, like I say, put these systems in place. And I think that is crucial in order to scale, in order for me to focus on business development, relationships, working on the business. I need to bring in people to help with those tasks. And so this is hopefully a good first step into scaling. Having predictable work is so important. You know, cash flow is king. And at the moment we have 2 clients that we're working with long term, which is fantastic. Potentially a third one soon. With that client we've been working with recently. I had a goal at the beginning of the year to be working with a minimum of 4 clients on a long-term basis. So we're halfway there. We're in July. Not bad going, and we've had some, you know, one-off projects with other golf businesses. So fingers crossed we can reach that goal, and also really getting everything in place. So like I say, our website, portfolio, case studies, and we also work with one client where we develop content strategy for his business, and really enjoyed working with him. He wasn't quite in the position to work with us on a long-term basis, but he did say that he'd love to work with us again, to create some more content. So considering we're in July now, as well as having sort of my existing business, Peak Fable, has still been going relatively well. You know, we've worked with cruise companies. We delivered a campaign for EE, which went out at the World Cup. We filmed at the BAFTAs, you know, so still been busy in that sense as well, which is great. But yeah, let's review at the end of the year how things have gone. But I would say overall it's positive, and we keep marching on. I'm not gonna lie, there's always challenging days. I think May was really, it was our best month in 6 years. But, you know, my chest, I was getting all kinds of pain in my chest from stress. So it's still, you know, fine tuning things. I don't want to get to a point where, you know, everything is unmanageable. Things need to be structured and well organized. So I'm big on that. And we don't want to work with clients that aren't suitable for us either. So, oh, just got a tree to just kind of walk through. But yeah, I will leave it at that for now. In business, however, you do get one chance to make a good first impression. And I like to wear hats. This is one I ordered recently, Peak Golf Media, the business. However, if you look close enough, the E didn't print properly on the media. Excuse all the dog hair. And yeah, it's extremely disappointing. And, you know, on those sites, you can stretch the logo out and then it flashes green to say that it fits properly. And so the print will work properly. But that's, yeah, really disappointing. And yeah, just thought I'd pass on that message that first impressions really count. And so I will not be using this business again. I'll be getting a refund. And that's it. You win or you lose. I just saw an interview clip with movie stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt, and the interviewer made a really good question. He asked, what keeps you going? And Emily said something that really resonated, and I wanted to let you know of it in case you hadn't heard. And she said, the unknown keeps her going. And when she first started out acting, she was anxious about when the next role would come, and it used to stress her out. And then now she's in a fortunate position where she's not constrained to a 9 to 5, and a project might finish, and what might have previously made her panic, she now sees as an opportunity. And within that unknown, You never know what challenges are going to arise, but you also never know the positives that might come within that unknown space. And I love that. I really do. And I've been there before where it's stressful when you don't know when the next job is coming in. But in those moments, you dig deep, you always look out for opportunities. And I'm still here to this day, 6 years later within business. And you know what? The opportunity has always come in. Things that I might have never been blessed to have worked on had I stayed in a 9-to-5. Things such as working on huge national podcasts, or going abroad and working at major events, or working with business owners in the golf space that I get to have fantastic conversations with. That, you know, a few years ago, if someone said that would be a realistic opportunity, I would have laughed in your face. So I think it's super exciting, and I'm trying to learn from that and just embrace the unknown and take hold of the opportunities that may come, because you never know what's around the corner.